Solitude is a conscious choice to be alone for self-reflection and growth, while loneliness is a lack of connection. Many people think that being alone is a form of unpopularity or it's something that needs to be fixed, but actually it is that time of self-reflection and self-discovery that can make your connections meaningful. Loneliness is not just about being physically alone. It is when you feel there is a lack of meaningful connection, where you feel like you're not being able to relate to someone, or it's just like something that just develops over time, where you feel a little disconnected from oneself and others. Maybe if you feel that at some point during some stages in your life, reflect upon, take a moment to think about, when is it that you really feel lonely? Is it in certain situations? Is it with certain people? Is it when you are alone? Is it when you are thinking about something? When you do a little bit of reflection on that, you will realize that maybe it is due to a lack of meaningful connection. It is because loneliness is a call for a deeper connection or a nudge to just reconnect with yourselves. Loneliness can be emotionally painful, and it is okay to have those uncomfortable feelings of sadness or anxiety, or just feeling inadequate, but it's very important to sit with those feelings. When we sit with those feelings and not escape from them, we are able to manage them a little better. Look at loneliness as a signal to tune in rather than something to avoid. When you address that there is loneliness that you're feeling, rather than escaping from it, you go towards it to be able to know, what is it that you are desiring? What is it that you are needing? What is it that you truly want in that particular moment? Silence can feel awkward, but it is only in silence that we are able to listen to ourselves better, listen to our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions better. Try to have a few minutes of your day. Try to have a few minutes every day practicing silence. It could be when you are just sitting and for 30 minutes and journaling, or the best way to practice silence is to meditate. Mindfulness is the only way where we are able to reconnect with ourselves a little better and hear our thoughts and feelings clearly without any filters of noises around us. Create solo rituals. It could be that morning walk, it could be that swim, it could be just sitting in the park and doing some breath work, whatever you want to do. It could be just that morning coffee that you want to have. Create a solo ritual where that particular time of the day you are not doing anything with anyone but just with yourself. When you inculcate that practice, making time alone feels special rather than empty. Existential theory suggests that solitude is a very normal human experience. It is that human experience where you are creating a little meaning of self-reflection and just reflecting on your own daily habits and choices and your feelings altogether. Jean-Paul Sartre believed that solitude is where we are able to experience our authentic selves truly without any filters. The self-determination theory suggests the importance of intrinsic motivation and autonomy. Solitude supports autonomy by pushing us to explore activities or things that we do for ourselves rather than looking for external validation. Solitude allows for introspection and emotional growth, where we realize what is it that we want and what is it that we really don't want. What is it that makes us happy? What is it that really doesn't make us happy? What are the kind of people that we would like to hang out with, and what are the kind of people you don't really want to hang out with because maybe they're like draining your energy a little bit, like energy vampires. Think of solitude as some me time every day, where you are just when we spend time with our friends or family, we are deepening our relationship with them. But when you're spending that me time with yourself, you are deepening your relationship with yourself. Studies show that solitude can make you creatively free, and it can let your mind wander in a way where it leads you to different ideas. You are free from social interactions, so you are able to think and create without the pressure, without the fear of, being able to talk to someone, or without the fear of, having to do something in a public setting. In this case, you are just by yourself, exploring your creativity, exploring your thoughts, and thinking through it in a process. Artists like Virginia Woolf or Henry David Thoreau often sought solitude to enhance creativity. Famous creatives like Albert Einstein and Virginia Woolf cherished solitude as essential to their work, where silence allowed their thoughts to flourish into innovative ideas. Every day, try to set aside some time for your white space. In that white space, you are just trying to, for 30 minutes, just creating something, thinking about something creatively, creating something. It could be just doodling, it could be just singing, it could be just writing a poem, it could be anything that you feel creatively charged and rejuvenated, anything that makes your creative juices flow. Being alone can make you a little more stronger, build your resilience, because you are comfortable in your own company. You're not looking for any kind of external validation from anyone. This aligns with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where self-actualization is the highest level and requires self-sufficiency. In that particular time every day where you're away from social media, notice how you are responding to that moment. Notice how you are responding in that dedicated social media free time, where you're not looking for likes or posts or want to know what reel your friend has shared. You're not looking for any kind of external validation or instant gratification. You're just there in that moment with yourself, fully present. See how that influences your mood. See what kind of an effect it has on your spending time alone with your attachment or detachment from social media. Time alone strengthens our coping muscle. Our coping muscle in this case would be, when we are experiencing these different emotions alone, we are trying to build a kind of a resilience. We are trying to build a kind of a coping mechanism. We're trying to build a kind of a method where you're not depending on others to tell you how you should feel or how to make yourself feel better. You are developing your own strategies and your own ways to make you feel better, or to understand what these emotions are, and to know what this emotion makes you feel, and how to move from this emotion to this emotion by spending more time with yourself. It could be traveling alone. If you've never done a solo trip, I would highly recommend you to do one. You might be a little scared that you're like, okay, how am I supposed to move around this place all alone? People are going to look at me and feel like I'm weird. But no, trust me, when you are traveling alone, you make the most amount of friends, while you are traveling in a group. It could be taking yourself out on a date where you're just sitting with yourself having a coffee, or having that delicious, meal that you always, you crave for. Or it could be just traveling alone, going for a hike, or going to a completely new country by yourself. When you are recognizing that need of your me time and spending more time with yourself through activities outside of also your normal surrounding and normal setting, you are inculcating a different kind of confidence, and strengthening yourselves in a way where you don't care about what other people see, look at you as. If you're sitting alone at a cafe having coffee, or relishing that meal, you don't care about what other people are thinking about you. You are just in that moment, enjoying that coffee, looking at the beautiful view, or savoring that delicious meal. Or you're going on a hike to this beautiful new place that you're traveling alone. You're enjoying the nature because you're enjoying yourself. For solo hobbies or activities, it could be gardening, it could be going for your Pilates class, it could be drawing, painting, whatever is your hobby or activity that you really, really like, do it. Do it alone. Explore yourself alone with that hobby, because when you are exploring a hobby and an activity that you really like with yourself, you are discovering emotions that are of satisfaction and fulfillment and happiness, which make you realize that you want to do that more and more, and you don't really need anyone to do that with you. Hobbies can make solitude feel meaningful and rewarding. You can set personal goals for solitude. It could be reading a book. It could be 30 minutes of reading a book. It could be 30 minutes of going for a walk. It could be 40 minutes of studying that course, or it could be just that dedicated time where you are practicing solitude. A goal to try a new hobby every day or every week with yourself. Compassion can feel this time alone as rewarding rather than a punishment. The self-compassion theory pioneered by Dr. Krishnani suggests that being kind to yourself helps reduce feelings of loneliness. Instead of self-criticism, offer yourself encouragement during difficult moments. For instance, tell yourself, it's okay to be alone. I'm using this time to learn about myself. Practice self-compassion by writing positive affirmations or reminders about your worth. Reframe negative thoughts into supportive ones. Reconnecting with others after embracing solitude. When you have completely embraced your solitude and you've become very comfortable with it and you're loving it, that moment when you're spending time with yourself alone, you also cherish those connections a little more. You also go out and meet your friends or your family or whoever you want to spend more time with in a more conscious and mindful manner, where you are not just there because they've called you and they've told you, hey, you want to go for a movie? You're like, okay, I'm gonna go. Hey, you want to go try this new little Japanese restaurant? You're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go. No, you after you've spent that time with yourself, like embracing solitude, you'd select who you want to spend time with because you cherish that time, not just seeking company for the sake of it. You are spending that time with that person because you genuinely want to do it. When you've spent time with yourself practicing your hobbies alone, you might realize that you are drawn to people who also share the similar hobbies, share similar interests. Hence, you spend more time with people who think alike. It's natural to feel loneliness or discomfort in solitude. We have been taught to feel inadequate. We've been taught to equate worth with social engagement. Examine why you feel uncomfortable in solitude. Is it because you feel you are inadequate? Is it because you feel you're not enough? Is it because you feel like you constantly need to spend time with someone? Understand and analyze why is it that you feel this way when you are embracing solitude. I remember during COVID, I was in India and obviously during COVID, we all were going through intense emotions. And it was at that time that my mom recommended me to do a Vipassana course. It is a 10-day silent meditation retreat, which is completely free. You donate whatever you want to do at the end of the course. But it is the silent retreat, which was this technique introduced by Buddha so many years back. And Vipassana centers are all over the world. I did it for the first time. My mom's a yoga teacher and she's done Vipassana so many times, so she guided me through it. I went alone and it was these 10 days where you are just sitting with yourself. And it was these 11 days where you are just sitting and meditating for 10 hours. When you enter the Vipassana retreat, you give away all your belongings, would be your phone, your money, your book or pen. You cannot even sit and write. You cannot even sit and write your thoughts because the whole point of the meditation is to sit with your thoughts, sit with all the discomfort that you carry along for so long. And undoubtedly, it was the most tough decision of my life. I wanted to run away back home on the 4th day, on the 5th day, on the 6th day. But my teacher is the only person you can talk to. You are also not able to talk to anyone. It's the noble silence oath that you take. So you can't talk to anyone else. You are just talking to your teacher about how you're feeling. And she was like, no, Vipassana is like a surgery. You are open. Right? So now you are open. If you just leave, the surgery is going to be incomplete. You have to complete the surgery so that the healing is done completely. This is something I would definitely recommend if you think you could do it. I think everyone could do it, honestly. You just have to build that kind of a mental resilience. Or maybe you build that mental resilience while you are there. It is a little intense because you're meditating for 10 hours, for 10 days. But if you think it is something that you have been meditating for a while and you could do it, I would highly recommend Vipassana. It changed my life. It made me recognize how much I loved my time alone and how I can thrive in my time alone and how I can redirect my thoughts when it's going, on a spiral or any of that. It just makes you more mindful. It makes you more conscious of your thoughts, self-aware, and it just lets you know that, this is impermanent. This moment right over here is also impermanent. So whatever you are feeling right now is impermanent. The happiness is impermanent. The sadness is impermanent. Every emotion is impermanent as we are constantly changing and constantly evolving. So I'd highly recommend it if you want to try something intense. Vipassana centers are all around the world. Incredibly important to learn to enjoy your own company because everyone's not going to be available for you all the time. Maybe you really want to go and try this new painting class, but your friends are not available at the time that you want to go. So you keep delaying it for the next time, but no one really is available at the time. And you just give up on that passion, waiting for your friends to join you at the painting class. Or it could be maybe you want to go and explore this beautiful new place. Maybe you want to go to Italy, or maybe you want to go to Cambodia. Maybe you want to go to South America. You've been working for so long and you've been, literally saving up for this trip, but the schedule does not align with all of your friends. So you're just like, okay, I'm just going to stay over here and wait till the time their schedules align with yours. And there goes your trip to South America or Italy or Cambodia or wherever you want to go because you were waiting for your friends. Well, if it all comes together, fantastic. But don't depend on another person just because you are not wanting to do it alone. Just go ahead and do things alone. Maybe you want to watch the new movie and, your friends don't really like that genre or don't really like that actor. So you're just like, okay, I'm not going to go and watch it. I'm just going to watch it at home when it comes on Netflix. Well, that's also an option, but maybe you really enjoy going and watching that movie. So maybe you want to go and experience the theatrical experience of it. So you will not go because your friends don't want to go for that movie. Go to that movie. Go and watch that movie. Go and take yourself out on a date where you want to try that sushi without anyone. Go take yourself out on that trip that you've been saving for so long without waiting for anyone else to join you. Remember that we came alone and we're going to go alone. So the more comfortable we become with our own company, the more prosperous, the more fulfilled, and the more happier we would become with ourselves. Try it and see how you feel the next time.